Welcome once again to the Liberty Lounge. I'm with these knuckleheads once again. Apparently, last episode I quit and I am back. They rehired me. To my left is Jared of Guns and Gadgets. Out in California is Anthony the Armed Scholar. However you found us, thank you. Get yourself subscribed on Apple or Spotify. Thanks for finding us. We're glad you are here. All right, fellas, here's the deal. Y'all don't know what we're going to talk about today, but I got one. Last night, I was sitting and watching the football game, smoking a cigar with a buddy and talking, and I got thinking about some things I've heard recently. And a friend of mine said this. He says when he goes into a restaurant in a big city or into any sort of area where he doesn't feel super comfortable, not his hometown, because I feel pretty comfortable in Johnson City. But when he's got, getting up to threat level, I don't know, yellow or orange or whatever color in his mind, he has a tennis racket case with an AR and 9 magazines. That's a lot of rounds of magazines. And he carries that in, sits it right next to him, and he said nobody looks at it. Now, I'm a 6'5" fat Appalachian. I can't carry a tennis racket case unless I'm going to a pro wrestling match. So last night I got on, I forget the name of the company, but I got a guitar case rifle case. Savior. And I got the flat dark earth one, so it's kind of operator. I'm thinking today a lot about Gray Man. More than ever. I'm wearing a Disobey shirt. You're wearing a CMMG shirt today. I can't see what Anthony on. I think it's Vortex. That Vortex up top?
No, it's a gun company. It's called Operational Industries, and it's definitely gun imagery on the back.
So all three of us are screaming, I got a gun, I got a gun, I got a gun. Jared, where are you at with Gray Man? I am saying the rest of 2024, I am pushing more towards Gray Man.
Yeah, it's smart, but what we think of as Gray Man is pretty telling as well. Like most people still have, 5'11" pants. What does that scream?
Operator, a knife hanging out of their pocket. Yeah, explain to the viewers what Gray Man means first.
Means you're carrying a gun, but you don't have anything overtly saying it, like no logos, Glock, whatever, Smith & Wesson. Is where people are going to point to you and say you probably have something that my business doesn't want.
So you are pretending as best as you can that you're not a threat and that you're not carrying a gun.
Right.
And you're not doing it with 5'11" pants and a knife clipped to your pocket and a Glock hat on.
Yeah. Gray meaning nothing stands out. Like, yellow and red stand out for cars, right? Where a gray car kind of blends in. Same type of idea. You can blend in with everybody there and not stand out.
Anthony, where are you at with Gray Man? I know you live in California. You got to be a little bit more careful, I think, especially with the politics out there. I'm assuming that it's probably a better policy to be a little more Gray Man in day-to-day life. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I tend to take the perspective, Gray Man is a little bit better, especially even though I live in a fairly decent area. It's probably better practice in California. You don't want to be screaming gun all the time. Just because if you interact with police would be my main concern. You don't really know how they're going to react here in California. A lot of the police officers don't even really know about California CCWs or gun laws in general in California. They just think everything's banned. So yes, I do wear gun stuff sometimes. Like obviously I have a Vortex hat and this shirt. They're discreet enough to where if you know. So like this logo, hunters and guys in the gun industry would know the Vortex symbol. And so you'd be like, oh, that guy's got a Vortex hat. But the average person wouldn't necessarily know. Obviously, we've seen people with the shirts, like very clear ARs or guns on them. That's definitely not Gray Man. Yeah. And we've also seen the people, like Jared mentioned, like the 5'11" pants and even some of that now because of Hollywood and movies. That stuff has been put enough into culture where people will look at a certain silhouette of a person with certain clothes and be like, oh, that guy might be carrying a gun. I don't know what your guys' take on this. At least as a gun owner now, almost every time I see someone with a fanny pack or a sling bag, I automatically go, that guy's carrying an off-body gun almost every single time. Because especially if it's an older person, the younger generation tend to be carrying sling bags a little bit more now. But if it's someone over 30 with a fanny pack or a sling bag, I'm like, that guy's got a gun on him. That dude's got a gun. And usually most of the times they also have like a hat or a shirt or something, a grunt style shirt that is like confirms my suspicions.
Well, we live in Tennessee, so everybody here has a gun. My mom carried a gun in her purse, but I think your point about fanny packs is interesting because in the last year and a half, 2 years, it's been fanny packs are coming on. Mm-hmm. I bought one. I bought a really cool one with a frog skin camo on it. I carried it precisely once, and I felt really weird with a gun hanging out in front of me like that. I've never experienced something that large hanging in the front like that. I think for me, that was a penis joke, but nobody laughed. So I really appreciate that. Anthony, what do you got there?
Well, I bought this fanny pack after seeing Johnny carry it at an expo.
Yeah.
Just because I saw you wear it and I was like, oh, I kind of like that one. So I did buy this. It's a JanSport one, but yeah, it definitely has camo on it that screams also like you got stuff in there, maybe.
I have that one also. That is the one that I carry at events. I keep patches and stuff in it. I just felt weird carrying a gun, and it felt wrong. I do off body carry. I've got a Vertex backpack that's got a thing on the side that you rip open and you can grab a gun right out of it. I carry off body like that. Jared, is there value even in Tennessee with trying to lay low? I know that on my car, that I've got a "Don't Tread on Me" tag on the back, the bright yellow Gadsden "Don't Tread on Me," which I find fabulously ironic to pay the government
extra money
for a "Don't Tread on Me." I do it because it's ironic and funny. Plus, I like the yellow tag, but I get it. I'm paying to have a "Don't Tread on Me" tag. That means I have a gun in the car. Guaranteed that's what that means. And you see those yellow tags. You can't throw a rock outside of this building and not see a Gadsden flag tag. Even in Tennessee, where it's super gun friendly, do you think there's value to lay low?
Yeah, absolutely. I've gone to events here in town in the area where I'm carrying, but I'm wearing just like dress shorts and a collared shirt, and people don't know what they don't need.
What are dress shorts? Is that an oxymoron? How do you have dress shorts?
More presentable, not cargo shorts.
Oh, not cargo shorts.
Basketball
what sort
shorts.
Of hillbilly have you turned into in Tennessee? I got my dress shorts on, Ma. We're going to the picnic, and I
got my dress sandals too on.
The shorts you can wear with a polo and not look like a dork.
I'm not the shorts you can wear and not look like a dork. There's no way. I got my dress shorts on. It's Saturday. It's the Lord's Saturday. I find that I am getting a little more as the older I get. The things that I can control, I'm controlling. The things that I can do, if it's super easy to do and it makes life safer, makes life better, maybe I spend less or make more money, whatever I do, if it's easier. And so that case, so you already have one of those guitar cases.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have a guitar case for a gun?
I got it because when I travel to events, it's easier for me to fit 2 or 3 guns in that than it is to take 3 different cases. That's the reason I bought that one, because I could lay out the way I have my foam cut is 2 ARs, pistols, and then a bunch of mags. So that's all in that case. And wherever I go, it doesn't look like it. I put a bunch of weird stickers on it that aren't gun related, so it's not going to grab attention. But for me, it was just to move multiple things without using multiple cases.
The idea is that nobody sees a guitar case. It's like a Toyota Camry. If you don't know that, the Toyota Camry is the #1 car on the road, and they are completely invisible. Buy one that's a bland color, like a beige or a gray. No one will see you. They are impossible to see. I think there's a lot of value. It's a good question for all the viewers today is how do you feel about this gray man? Now, what works in Wyoming on the ranches is different than what works in downtown Connecticut somewhere. So I think there's a lot of value there. Anthony lives in a fairly conservative part of California, if there is one of those. I think most folks put California in such a box that it's all just a bunch of fruits, flakes, and nuts and gay people. But there are, especially in Northern California. I was there last week. I spent half a day there a week ago, and it's just hardworking, nice Americans. Like it's much like most of Middle America. I think there's so much value in that and in what we wear and in how we carry these guns, because it's dangerous. They are super easy to pawn. They are super easy to steal. They're super easy to transport, and bad guys are looking for them. We're in the middle of a high drug trafficking area because of the interstate system that comes through our area. So I do find a lot there. Anthony, for you, what's your day-to-day like? I know we talked on here about carrying before. I know that you said that, and you're purposeful in that those logos are not super overt. What else are you doing, thinking through kind of being the gun guy in your neighborhood?
I think I've found myself lax a little bit on this the other day, and I caught myself just making sure I also am always carrying. And when I say always carrying, like obviously when I head out to work every day or I'm going out mainly in public, I will always have my gun on me. What I caught myself doing the other night, and I did catch myself and I went back into the house, was I've been going on like nightly walks. And so at 8:30 at night, I was going on my nightly walk. and just left the house real quick, not thinking about it. And then 20 minutes in, realized, oh, I don't have my gun on me, and I'm walking at 8:30 at night. There's not, I'm not in a great area, but I'm not in a super, super horrible area, but there is definitely crime in our area every single day. So I was like, better go back and get my gun. So trying to make sure I always have something on me. And then also just the way I carry and the type of clothes that I wear that are a little bit looser fitting so I can appendix carry. Um, and then I think we had talked about this. I don't really wear shorts ever. I don't have, fancy shorts, dress shorts, or cargo shorts really that I ever wear. I'm always pants and some sort of sneaker that I can walk in for a long period of time. That's
Is that
just kind
because
of how.
your legs are really pale? Is that why?
Yeah, pretty much. It is an issue. That really is actually an issue.
Anthony, I think to be fair, you out on your walk, I think you'd be really, really, there was a farmer stand. I think you would be really hard to kidnap, though, to be fair. I think of the three of us, you would probably be the hardest. I don't know. I'm 6'5", and you're a tank. I don't know. I think the three of us together are an impossibility to kidnap. So I think you're probably good on your walk. You might get sexually assaulted, but
Yeah.
you would still
Yeah.
be there. They're not going to throw you in a trunk.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they would just do some weird stuff to me, but I would live. No,
Sign me up for that.
our area has gotten a lot worse with homeless, and there is a lot of gang violence here. So there's probably one or two people that get shot every single day in our town. So it is a concern in general. I mean, people are getting shot and stabbed at the gas station that everybody goes to. So it's just one of those things that is kind of in the back of my mind, and just don't want to catch myself slipping one time, because it only takes that one time, and that's why we carry, is just for that off chance that something happens.
So it's mostly
And
peaceful there.
yeah, mostly peaceful, guys. My town is, yeah, California is mostly peaceful, everybody. Yeah, not that many murders.
All right, today's episode of Fun is brought to you by our friends out at Brownells. More than ever, they are committed to getting good stuff to you at your house. I'm telling you, they got the selection is just absolutely ridiculous. I think all of the stuff we're talking about today, people can find stuff there. What's your favorite thing about Brownells?
I just watched the video yesterday that Mr. Guns and Gear put out on an MB safety for MP5 and Cody. I want one. I'm going to go buy one probably today when I get home.
So the answer to what's your favorite thing about Brownells is, hey, Brownells, give me something.
No, I'm buying it.
I need
Put one aside. I'm buying it.
Put one aside. They're going to sell out, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's very rare to see anything MP5 related in stock.
Yeah, I did see that video. Brownells, fantastic people. The selection is absolutely massive. Customer service is really solid. I've used them for years, long before they were ever a sponsor. I was a customer. Big thank you to the folks at Brownells.
We want to thank the sponsor of today's show, Patriot Mobile. For 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And when I say only, trust me, they're the only one. Patriot Mobile is a new supporter of the Liberty Lounge, and we are proud to partner with them. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage, giving you the ability to access all three major networks, which means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to without funding the left. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending the message that you support free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, and our military veterans and first responder heroes. Their 100% US-based customer service team makes switching easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Their team will help you find the best plan that meets your needs. Just go to patriotmobile.com/liberty or call 972-PATRIOT. You can get free activation when you use the offer code LIBERTY. Join me and make the switch today.
All right, Jared, where are you at with all of this? We're talking about trying to do basic things that maybe make us less of a threat, less of a target. There's something Anthony said a while back. He said that he never wears flip-flops, and because one of his white toes, but number two, in case something pops off. And I adopted that bang immediately. Not that I've worn flip-flops since I was 9 years old, but I've been thinking about my footwear. I flew a lot last week, and I made sure that I had something I could run in on my feet. And I was just watching all these men come through in sandals and flip-flops and things and loafers and just things that would be horrific in the case of an emergency. I'm happening to wear my boots today, but I'm always wearing tightly laced up shoes. My point again is trying to do basic, super easy things that cost me no more time, no more money, very little effort, that make things incrementally safer should bad crap happen. Jared, where you at? Lace up shoes.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I wear. I don't think I've worn a flip flop since I was a kid.
Not with your shorts.
No, no, and even at the beach, I wear sneakers. The I've been a boots guy my whole because of my career. So I'm always wearing something lace up, and I double knot them always, even the ones I'm wearing right now. Just
You
in
wore
case.
loafers to the Christmas party.
Yeah, but I think I've worn Hey Dudes and loafers. I think I've worn maybe 10 times total. Just I have them for like dress occasions for my fancy stuff, but like Hey Dudes, I have 3 pairs, and I've worn 2 pairs once. It's just they're cool for lounging around the house, but for going out in public, if you have to turn and burn, they're not going to work for you.
My favorite is Anthony's face when you said my fancy stuff, and Anthony's like, "What?"
Dress clothes.
I did. I was just curious. Maybe I missed it. Did you say you wear your Hey Dudes for your fancy stuff?
No,
like
no,
I said from I was like,
I
what?
have. He's talking about a couple pairs of shoes that I have that are loafer-ish, but they're very nice.
Very nice, very nice. I think it's important to note that all white men are required now to either own On Cloud, Hokas, or Hey Dudes, and they have a lockdown on Caucasian male society. I've got a pair of camouflage Hey Dudes that I have, and they're tropical multicam, and I'm telling you, everybody stops. Man, where'd you get those? And they're all white guys. All of them are middle-aged white guys. Middle-aged white guys loving the Hey Dudes. But my point is this: is what basic things can we do to make things a little bit better, or make things super big time safer with very, very little effort? I am doing a freaking good job of keeping gas in my car. Like like half a tank, fill it back up, and I'm trying really hard. I keep my flashlight batteries charged all the way up. One thing I learned from John Lovell, he said this one time, he said, there's not many problems you get into that you can't get out of with cash. And I carry in 2024, I carry cash on me at all times, folded up really tiny, slid down in my little wallet thing. What are you doing, Jared, that's easy, that's going to increase the chances that you get home safe?
The last 2 years, I've been really big on preventative maintenance of my vehicles. Stuff that like years ago I wouldn't worry about an oil change until the car told me it was time to change the oil, or something in the front end starts going wonky, then I address it. Like just dropped off my truck today because I'm going to be gone for the week, and I gave them a list of things to do to it just to make sure it's in tip-top condition. So that's something I've been working on hard for the last 2 years, is being very proactive and preventative maintenance on things that I depend on for safety for my wife and kids.
But I know your personality. You enjoy upkeep and keeping things really nice and neat. Like your workspace is really impressive. Like you're downstairs where the studio is. It's very, very perfectly put together. And but you enjoy the maintenance stuff, right?
No,
really?
No, I hate it. But I'm a big fan of the belief, like if you have a workspace that is neat and tidy, you can be more productive. It's a mental thing. It's just something I subscribe to. Some people, I used to be the person of the belief, like if you meet a CEO or a boss or a supervisor whose desk isn't messy, don't trust them. And I used to be like that. But I've changed my ways where, like, if everything's where it needs to be, when I need to have it, I know where it's going to be. I can be more productive and more efficient.
Anthony, where are you at? What are you doing in the day? Because I know you're mindful of what you do in your day-to-day life. What are you doing to make things safer day by day by day? I know you're carrying. I know you're lowering the look down and getting the logos down, dialed back a little bit. What else are you doing on your day-to-day life?
I think a big part of it too is we talked about it, just trying to be healthier, trying to do all that stuff because at the same time I'm talking about like, oh, I need to make sure I have shoes. So if like I need to walk for multiple days, it was like, okay, your shoes don't really do you that good if you can't physically walk for multiple days. So I've been logging my 10,000 plus steps every single day, working out, going to jujitsu, doing all those things, eating healthier, dropping some weight, doing all that stuff. So that's been a big part of it. And then outside of that, I think Johnny, a point that's well taken that I've definitely adopted is having cash on me, because nowadays next to nobody has cash on them. And even more concerning is next to no one even has cash out that they have like as a cash savings in their physical house, because with the way that society is right now, and we've seen some even scares recently, banks closing, banks shutting down, people just assume like, yeah, I have money in the bank, and if I just need it, I'll just go to the bank and get it. But we saw what happened during the depression, the run on banks and people shutting them down. There is no guarantee that you can even get cash out when you need to. And even some banks will have caps on how much cash you can take out at any given time. So always making sure my family has cash on hand. So if something were to go catastrophic in society, we have enough cash. Now, who knows what that value of that cash would really be if something went really, really wrong. So then it's another part of that that I know we all adopt to is having alternative forms of money, whether it's
Ammunition, real big
ammunition's a big
currency.
one. Ammunition, food, alcohol, gold. Jared's got me into watches because we all have heard that there's not many situations that a Rolex watch or one of those watches can't get you out of.
Yep.
I carry this is I mean, my family has given me multiple things, but like I have gold crosses and little gold bars and stuff. So if I needed to break one of these off and sell it off or give it to someone, that's currency, and I carry that on me every single day. So little things like that. Worst case scenario, weird apocalypse things that nag in my brain late at night. I know I sent you guys a text the other day. I was like, man, I'm having more and more nightmares of something catastrophic happening to me, having to try to get out of California.
Yeah, you
And
sent that text and said, "Hey, I'm having nightmares." Was that literal or was that
yeah,
figurative? Are you actually having nightmares about California?
yeah. So and
That's the
it
Lord
happens.
talking to you.
Yeah, it happens periodically. I also sometimes will have like nightmares about like mass shooting incidents and how I'm responding to them. And it also probably just is what we deal with and the amount of news that we deal with every single day infiltrates your mind. But yeah, I mean, it's the concern of being in a state like this is definitely not lost on me. I know every time we travel and we go to Tennessee or Texas or whatever, the fans in the audience are always like, "Hey, when are you going to move?" Um, I'm definitely concerned. I don't think I'll be in California for the rest of my life. I'm here now. But yeah, that stuff bleeds into your dreams. And I think now with the amount of weird rhetoric that we have building up in society, it's definitely infiltrating the dreams a little bit more. So yeah.
One thing that I am doing is I am getting around crowds less, and maybe it's just being old and cranky, but partly of it is I am purposely doing that. Over in Bristol, Virginia / Bristol, Tennessee today is the Rhythm and Roots Festival, and there's between 40 and 50,000 people there. And I had people, and I looked at the band list. I mean, there's like literally 100 bands playing in 2 days there.
We were up in that area yesterday. It was packed.
It's packed. And somebody hollered at me and they said, "Hey, you want to go?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. I want to because there's a couple bands I'd like to see and go drink some beer and just be around rhythm and roots." And then I thought, you know what? This is easy. It's super easy to not go be in that nonsense. I was twitchy the other day in the airport, just watching around. And, I'm not panicky. I'm not freaking out. I don't think I'm unreasonable. But just watching, I'm like, these are people that I don't want to be in the same room with. I need to eliminate this from my life. So I've flown a lot less this year. Jared, where are you at with crowds? I am saying that if you go to a football game or something, maybe, but if you're 50-50, just don't go. Go do something else.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of crowds. So much can go wrong. Plus, it's very compromising if you're a control freak of your own safety, like most of us are in this community. I don't like being around them. Unfortunately, you have to a lot. So I do the best I can with those scenarios I'm in. But I'm not going to that festival. I'm just not, because it's not just me. I have to worry about my children. And it's easier for me not to put them in a spot where something could go wrong when people start combining, stupidity and alcohol.
There is a thing going on right now in Tennessee, and it's going on nationwide, but there's been so many school threats, like a lot, even here locally in the last 3 days, school threats. And, Anthony mentioned mass shootings in California, in his brain going mass shootings. And I'm like, if you're by yourself, there ain't no mass. It's just a shooting. And our chances of ever being in a gunfight as an individual are almost zero. I mean, it's very, very minute. The other thing, because of that, there's almost no chance we'll be in a shooting. I just feel better not being in a mass situation. The other thing is that I think, something like 200 times more likely to die in a house fire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't own a fire extinguisher. I need to fix that.
Really?
Correct. Well, I just moved in February. It's only been like 7 months or something. Anthony, where you at with fire extinguishers in your abode?
Yeah, we have them. So my father-in-law works for a company where he does a lot of like safety compliance. And so they always have a lot of like not expired fire extinguishers, but the ones that are beyond the period of time that California allows. So then we get those and we just, have them throughout the house. So we always have those. Get a fire extinguisher, Johnny. You need it. I think it's
I
with
need one in
everybody.
every room.
Yeah.
There's a store down the street.
Lowe's is right there. I know. And it's one of those things you think about it and like, yeah, I'm going to get that handled. And then 4 months later, you're like, oh crap, I don't have a fire extinguisher. So that is this weekend's project, something I'm going to be working on this weekend. And by working on, drive right over there and pick a couple up. Where do I put them? You've been in my place. Do I put one in the kitchen and one in the bedroom?
Kitchen, bedroom, bathroom.
Bathroom? Ain't no fires in a bathroom.
No.
You
have a sink near electricity, right?
Yes.
There you go.
Dad blast. I'm about to buy more than one fire extinguisher.
Yeah, buy 5.
Buy 5 fire extinguishers. How many do you have in your big house? Because my house is the size of your garage.
Probably 6.
So 6. You told me to buy 5?
Yeah. I do a little overkill, but like, and another thing while we're on the safety thing, like, do you check your smoke alarms, smoke detectors? Do you change your battery twice a year?
Do you have a carbon monoxide?
Am I supposed to?
Womp womp. Yes, you're supposed to.
Really? I am really good at checking fire extinguishers. When we got this building here, it's a piece of commercial property. I put in new fire extinguishers and got everything up to date. And you don't have to wait until the ceiling birds chirp. You can change that fire extinguisher when you change the fire extinguisher when you set the clocks forward or set the clocks backwards, which is coming up soon here, I believe.
Yep, that's when I change my batteries and my optics too, generally.
You change your batteries and your optics when you change they're like 50,000 hours. They're supposed to last like 10 years.
Supposed to. I'd rather not fucking depend on it.
That's a really good point there is change out your batteries and your optics regularly. When I went on a big trip last week, my batteries were all good to go. I put in fresh lithiums in all of them. It's expensive. Lithium batteries are high. Anthony, where you at with the batteries in your optics?
Yeah, you got to change them. I mean, I know we talk about 50,000 hours on a lot of them, like the HoloSuns or the some of the RMRs and all that, but or the SROs. You got to change them. I know the things that I don't like is when people are like, every Christmas I change all my batteries. I'm like, I don't believe you, because who's changing optic batteries on Christmas? So usually it's like my general rule is sometime in December is when I put aside one of the days when I'm messing with the guns to change all the batteries. Mm-hmm. Usually it's towards the end of the year. So usually most of the time it's in December. Sometimes it's in November around my birthday. I'll change all of them. But yeah, you got to change your batteries. I don't trust the 50,000 hour stuff. I mean, I know most of them will run, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So that's why I do it.
Especially if you leave them on. Like some people will shut them off and leave them in the safe for 6-8 months, but then you have to worry about corrosion. But I generally, my red dots, I leave them on. So I used to be really good. Like spring forward, I would change pistols. Fall back, I would change rifles.
I didn't know that. I've never met somebody that changes them all on the same day. I just like if I'm going to pick up a rifle that I'm going to a class with, or now my main rifle, my number one, it's good to go. But my other ones, I just like if I'm going to a class or whatever, if I'm taking it to the range and double check it. I don't keep fresh batteries and all that crap that's in the safe because there's so many in there. I've never considered changing all of those at once. That's a lot, and I don't feel like they're ever going to get used.
Well, I didn't have a lot of optics until recently. Like I pretty much put a red dot on everything I can now, all the new stuff I buy. But up until I was a really late adopter to red dots.
I have no glass. I have a lot of glass like on the shelves. I have no glass in the safe. I don't have a single gun with a
scope.
With a scope, none.
I have one just to reach out and touch somebody, but. Yeah, I used to be really, really good on it. And I've kind of slacked now that I've moved and I have stuff in different spots. So I could probably do better on that.
And interestingly, the glass that I do have red dots inside of them because so many of the reticles now are on dots. Anthony, where you at? Red dots or scopes?
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys. So you guys just generally only run like 1 or 2 guns with an LPVO. That's pretty much it.
I don't have an LPVO right now. I have them in shelves. I'm getting ready to build one. Actually, I ordered the parts 2 days ago. I'm getting ready to build out a flat dark earth Aero Precision, and I'm going to LPVO that. So I'm going to have one because I need a 300-yard gun.
Yeah, I have one AR that has LPVO, and be doing something soon with our buddies over at Brownells, where I'm going to have a reach them out and touch them gun a long distance.
Oh yeah, you're getting long distance. Anthony, where are you at? You have scopes, don't you?
Yeah, I have a few guns. So like my Daniel, That's a 16-inch that has a Vortex razor on it, but I do have also an offset backup acro on that one. So I don't, even with LPVOs, especially if it's, and I guess this is a whole theory within itself that we could get into, is when people talk about, oh, the gun you're going to grab, are you going to picking a true red dot, or are you just going to pick an LPVO? I would like to have options. So when we talk about really being able to reach out and touch someone, I think the LPVO is probably your best bet. But at what distances would you really be engaging people or situations?
200 yards, I'm going the other direction. I'm out of here.
Yeah, my only thought too is I think a lot of people overlook just the practicality of like hunting. Like I know if it was a situation where things are really, really bad and I'm taking something and I'm having to hunt or wanting to shoot something, probably is better to have a variable optic to reach out and touch animals or things. But saying that, probably would still grab just to be a red dot. Knowing me, I probably would still.
Yeah, they run, and I'd forgotten the one. I built that 22 this summer. It's got an LPVO on it that I built for not shooting songbirds in the backyard because that's illegal in the state of Tennessee. But F Blue Jays. That's all I got to say. I do have that one. I've really enjoyed it, and it's been a lot of fun. I think for Anthony's point of for hunting, I think it's important. Jared, walk us through. You're getting ready. You are going to build a reach out and touch someone gun. What's it going to be?
Chassis gun, bolt action. Haven't decided on brands yet.
What chambering do you want?
I'm still torn on that.
It's going to be 6.5 Creedmoor.
Well, I want a 6.5 Creedmoor, but if I'm thinking about actually affording to shoot it quite
308?
often, 308, yeah. So it's going to come down to that. Like how much 6.5 can I get at the time I'm building it for a price that I'm comfortable with sending down range.
Plus, if the crap hits the fan, you'll be able to access 308 a lot easy.
Yeah.
You can go to somebody's house and steal all their 308.
But how much are you really going to be shooting that? I think that's like for a specialty gun like that, in my opinion, it's like, why not do the 6.5 if that's what you prefer? Because you're probably not putting a ton of rounds through it anyways. And is that really going to be the, shit hit the fan gun that you're going to be grabbing is going to be that chassis gun? No, probably not. So, I mean, I don't think 308 would be bad, but my thought would be like, hey, if you really want 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's just a specialty gun that you're going to take out and learn on and want to have fun with, like, why not pick whatever round you want?
Well, I really want a 50 Barrett, but that's
that is a 50 Barrett is the state gun of Tennessee, which is kind of exciting. I've had both. I've had 308. I've had 6.5 Creedmoor. I went out and did a counter sniper course a couple of winters ago. And so everybody on the line, maybe 9, 10, or 11 guys on the line, we shot maybe 600 or 800 rounds over the course of a couple of days. And the 6.5 Creedmoor guys all perform. And we all swapped rifles around. And man, that 6.5 Creedmoor, man, that thing shoots flat. It really, really does. 308, you're lobbing them in. But if you need to shoot somebody through the car door, 308 is your locomotive. But man, that Creedmoor, it's got my attention, and I think the round is here to stay. Even since I've been in the gun industry, so many rounds have come and gone. My very first TGC panel, which is now called GunCon, they spent, the guys on the stage spent a half an hour of people's time. There was 600 people in the audience. That's 300 hours of human existence plus 30 minutes of my life talking about 224 Valkyrie, and it went on and on 30 straight minutes in public about 224 Valkyrie.
Yeah.
It was IV88 Eric and Mac and 22 Plinkster. These are my friends, but holy smokes, these rounds come and go, and they come and go, and I'm always wary of the boutique rounds. Get a Remington 700 that shoots 308. You're good to go.
Yeah.
But that Creedmoor, I think it's here to stay, don't you?
I do. That's why I'm leaning towards that. It's just the prevalency of it at the time when I'm doing this.
Yeah. This episode has been very much about trying to do better. I am trying to do better. I'm trying to lower the liabilities in my life. I think Anthony's point of health, the three of us are much more likely to die of heart disease than anything else. I've been doing better. I've been eating more protein than ever. Monday through Friday, I'm doing pretty good. High protein, 3 meals a day. Saturday and Sunday is for the pizza and the beer. And I was going to say we're working on that. We're not working on that, not remotely. So that's something I need to, but I can buy a fire extinguisher in the meantime. This is a lot of fun. I hope everybody here, I hope y'all enjoyed it, but also, like we said last episode, I hope it made you think. However you found us, click that like, click that subscribe, get yourself subscribed. Appreciate that. On behalf of, to my left, Jared of Guns and Gadgets out in California, the man himself. We love him. It's Anthony, the arms scholar. I'm Johnny B. This is the Liberty Lounge, and we'll see you soon.